Hi everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of our hyperbolas. Today we're going to talk about writing the equations of our hyperbolas. So we've talked about some of these general forms. Reminder that our horizontal opening transverse axis are when our hyperbolas open to the left and the right. That will be when we have an x squared coming first. Vertical is when we are opening up and down, and that's when we have a y squared coming first. So as we look through this, we have c squared equals a squared plus b squared with our hyperbolas. Remember that your c squared, your c parameter, is the biggest in a hyperbola, so it's a little bit different equation setup than we dealt with our ellipses. Now, when we are writing these, okay, you again kind of need three pieces. You need the center, you need your a value, and you need your b value. Still need the center, still need the a value, still need the b value, whether it is a vertical versus a horizontal. So step one is we want to identify, if we can, the center. In this case, our center is going to come at 0, 2. Okay, so we know when we plug this in, the center, the h, and the k are 0 and 2. This is opening horizontally, so our x value is coming first. So you can either write x minus 0 quantity squared, or you can just write x squared, since we know x minus 0 is just x squared. And then this time again, minus y minus that k value quantity squared equals 1. Now our a values are the distance from the center to our vertex. So in this case, that is 4 units. So 4 squared is going to go underneath the x. B values, distance from center to co-vertex. 2 would be parameter b. 2 squared is 4. So that would end up being our equation for that graph. The next one does not give us a picture. It does, however, tell us our h and our k value, and they're telling us that our transverse axis, aka parameter a, is 14 units long, so that's 2a actually. And if it's vertical, that's important because that's going to tell us that our y values are going to come first this time. So y minus k, aka plus 9, x minus h, and then if 2a is 14, a is going to just be 7. So 7 squared, k 49, goes underneath that first part. B squared then is going to be dealing with parameter b from this conjugate axis. 2b is 26, so parameter b is just 13. Square that to get our final answer. Next example, they are showing us that there is movement between our vertices with the x values. So what that's basically saying is that your vertices are going to be to the right and the left of each other, aka this is opening sideways. And that between 12 and negative 8, there's a total of 20 units of measure. That means that 2a is 20. Our a value then would just be 10. Now to find the center, okay, we are going to end up using the midpoint. So add up your two x values, add up your two y values. 12 plus negative 8 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. Negative 8 minus 8 more, divided by 2 is negative 8. So here are the h and the k, and again, we know this is vertical because we were moving those x values to start. So x minus h, y minus k, which is 8, not 18, equals 1. A again is 100, since it's 10 squared, and then 2b is 18, so b is 9. 9 squared goes into our equation. On the next page, a couple more examples. This next one is giving us, again, the vertices, and this time the foci. So again, on the vertices, what we're noticing is movement between the x values, and go from negative 4 to negative 10, that is a total of 6 units. So 2 times parameter A is going to be 6, which means A is just 3. The distance between our foci, we're again changing the x values. Square root of 13 is what we are adding on or subtracting from -7. And because those are all dealing with the x values, again, we know it's going to be x first, y second, equals 1. We need to figure out this time that center value so we can add up either the vertices or the co-vertices, but to find our center point, we are going to take -4 plus -10, divide that by 2, 2 plus 2 divided by 2. We end up with -7, comma, 2 as our h and our k value. So x plus 7, y minus 2. A parameter we know is 3, so 3 squared is 9. B parameter would have to be found on this one. So we're going to take our c squared value, and that will equal a squared plus b squared. So in this case, we know that c squared would be the square root of 13 squared. That's going to equal a squared plus b squared. So the square root of 13 is 13. Oops, 9 is the b squared. We would need 3 squared, which is 9. So square root of 13 squared minus 3 squared to get b squared by itself. B squared then is going to be 4. B is 2, although we need b squared for the equation. All right, next example is giving us the center. So yay, we have h and k. Notice on this one there is movement with the y values. So what this is telling us is that this is going to be y squared coming first, x squared coming second. H goes with your x, that's going to be your plus 3. K is just 3, so we'll plug that in there. So this time as we move from that center to the vertex, we went 3 units to get from 3 to 6. 3 squared is 9. And then the center to the focus is the C parameter. This time we moved 5 units. Now we don't need C for the equation, but what we do need is C to help us find parameter B, which in this case would be found by taking 5 squared minus 3 squared, so 25 minus 9 is 16. All right, last example for the day. Okay, this time we have, again, vertices. So our center point we want to find first, add up your x and your 2x values, add up your 2y values. -8 plus 8 is 0, divided by 2 is still 0. -2 plus -2, but divided by 2 is -2. So we have our h, we have our k. Notice we moved the x values this time for that. So we're going to do x minus 0 quantity squared, or again, just x squared, and then minus y minus -2, aka y plus 2 quantity squared. Now again, the vertice distance, these moved a total of 16 units to get from vertex to vertex, aka our A parameter is 8. 64 then is its square. The B is a little bit trickier because this time we have the asymptotes, and in this case, if we're moving these x values, it's horizontally opening, and we would have A over B, 7 over 8, as the asymptotes here. So 7 squared ends up being my A squared value, so 49. Right, the last one is for you to try. Thanks everyone for watching. We will work more with these in class.